Stampers. Hello and welcome to the LovenStamps channel. My name is Meg Loven and I am excited to share a project with you today. So we are going to focus on a stamp set and a bundle that just came out at the beginning of November. And the reason that I'm showing it to you is that I think it makes a really outstanding holiday card. And you could do them in lots of colors though, which means that this is a stamp set that extends way beyond the holidays. You can literally use it all year long. So I'm going to show you a couple cool features of it, and I'm going to feature some colors that are perfect for the holidays. So if you're looking for holiday card ideas, this one is high on the pretty list. So with that, it is the Happy Hibiscus stamp set, and the folder that goes along with it is, I think, sort of the hero in this set. It is the Stampin' Cut and Emboss hybrid dies that go along with the stamp set also go along with this folder. So you get a really cool set of embossed designs, and I'm going to teach you how I found to do stamp on the flowers when you want them embossed and don't stamp on the flowers when you want them embossed. So in case that didn't make sense, the do's and don'ts of making this stamp set work really beautifully. So got a couple tricks on that to save you some extra effort, and I will share those with you too. So we're also going to feature the Christmas label stamp set, which I've used a couple times lately, I think, and it's coordinating dies because I love them. And I'm going to tell you why one of the dies in here is my three of the dies in here are my absolute favorite. Okay, 2.5 maybe. Absolute favorite for making holiday quick tags. So remind me when we get there. If you don't hear me say why they're my favorites, just poke me and be like, Meg, you said you were going to tell us why these are your favorites. So because they have some really cool aspects that make them just ideal when you're making lots of something. So we'll get to that too. All right. So that all being said, let's switch our camera down and get started. Okay, so I have this little 12 days of crafting thing that I'm going to share with you, and I have 12 days of crafting yet. It's like an advent calendar that comes to your doorstep and includes 12 fun gift items in fun wrappings. So anyway, I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But let's get back to our Happy Hibiscus here. And at first glance, honestly, it's a floral. Yay, flowers. But the thing that really makes this a next level set is the folder that goes with it and the dies that go with it. Specifically, this one right here, which gives you the chance to stamp and cut out 3 of these flowers at the same time, or emboss and cut out 3 of these flowers at the same time, plus some really awesome extra pieces, including some label dies. I love a really robust die set that includes some great labels to use on lots of things, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to use our Christmas labels today. So, all right, so let's take a look at our cardstock here. We have a fun fold card. Hey Sue, we'll catch you later. Hey Margie. We have a fun fold card here, and I'm going to give you the scoring dimensions on this. So easiest way to do great straight scoring is to use your trimmer or your Stampin' Score tool. And I just realized that I forgot to put this in the link for the supplies. So if you're looking in the comments here and you click the supply link for the video, either description or comments, you're going to be missing the trimmer. So don't forget to add that if you don't have one. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to score at 2 inches, 3 1/8 inches. And then you could ignore these if you just flip this around and score at 2 and 3 1/8 again on the other side. Okay. Hi, Inika. Hey, Inika, what's for dinner? All right. So, we are going to go ahead and fold then to make 2 zigzags that give us a really pretty perfect pop out here like this, okay? So our card is actually going to stand. It is a standing pop-up card, and it's going to go ahead and pop out just like this, a triple panel standing card, okay? So let's get to decorating some of these, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a strip here of the same Granny Apple Green, here's our color, cardstock. And for this, I'm going to take our embossing folder, and I'm going to just run this through here. Now, when you are doing this, of course, if you're doing a bunch of these, you just line them all up at once. I would go ahead and cut them first so you're not like pressing down when you do your cutting to press out any of that pattern. I have my Christmas gnome sweatshirt on in case you hadn't seen that. But remember, when you're using the 3D embossing folders like this one, they're a little bit thicker. So your sandwich is really simple. You're going to use number 1 plate here, which is the thick one, and you're going to look, and it says right on here, using the 3D embossing folders, when you see the directions on your surface, you know you have the right plate, okay? If you cover that up with another plate, like this little one, you won't see that direction anymore. That's not going to be right, okay? When you have the plate directions showing for what you're using, then you know you have the right sandwich started, okay? Makes it a little easier. All right, hinge first, this goes in, and then plate number 4, which is either this gray one or the clear blue one, depending on when you got your Stampin' Cotton Emboss machine. And we're gonna run this through. And now we have our, oh, there we go. Really gorgeous embossed cardstock here. And you can see it honestly on both sides. So you could decide if you want the debossed side to be your top, you could definitely do that. I kind of like the embossed side. And this shows really well on the camera because in real life, it is a really, really great deep embossing folder. So when I do that, oh, Inika says not dinner time yet. Oh, okay, good. Glad you could hold off on dinner then. I hope your family's okay with that. When I use an embossing folder like this, I always prefer to use multi-purpose liquid glue because it gets into all the nooks and crannies. And I want to make sure that I get really good contact here between my 2 layers so that everything stays stuck where we want it. All right, so I'm just going to pop that there in the middle. All right. Hey, Betty. Oh, yes, this is a great design that definitely allows you, and get ready for this because we're going to give you very little room to write. Now, if you like to write a saga on your cards, you can add extra panels for writing, but this one's going to be pretty small. All right, so now I have 2 pieces of designer series paper, and I love a paper where I have managed to use pretty much most of it. This is the Take a Bow designer series paper. It is a 48 sheet 6x6 pack, and you can see how much I have left here. Not a whole lot. So I have 2 strips here that are cut to 1 3/4 inch by 5 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop one of those on each side. And I know you're thinking like, okay, I thought, Meg, you were going to show us some tips for the hibiscus flowers. Don't worry, they're coming. But we're going to get our card base here all prettied up first. All right, and Betty, oh yeah, that's our comments about the writing. Yeah, sometimes, you know, I have lots of things to say, and sometimes you just want to send a greeting and let somebody know you're thinking of them. Okay, so here you can see the background for our card is well underway. Now, let's come back here to our Hydra embossing folder. This stamp here is gorgeous, and it is 3 stamps on 1, which means that you can easily stamp it and then cut it out with the dies. But in my experience, at least, I found that it was not helpful to try and stamp first and then line that cardstock up inside the folder. And I found it much simpler to go ahead and do our cutting and embossing first. Now, you're going to find that this die fits in here only one direction. And my friend Kim actually had a kind of cool suggestion. I haven't done it, but she said when you figure out where the die fits in, just take a Sharpie and just outline a little bit so that you'll always know where the die goes. You can see that I've cut a ton of Poppy Parade flowers here, so it's got this nice Poppy Parade outline. So I know that's not where my die is going to go because that's basically what happens when the die gets crunched in the folder. But when you use a hybrid embossing folder like this, the hybrid means dies and folders together. And oh, Inika likes the colors already. I know, they're really bright and happy, right? And red and green is Christmas. So we're going to go ahead and snap this in here. You can feel it when you have it set in because it won't move, okay? If it's sliding around just a little bit, make sure it's set in there because you don't want to injure your folder. So I'm going to go ahead and pop in my Poppy Parade cardstock. and get that turned. Oof, I cut that really close, huh? And then I'm gonna keep it all pinched together and press that down. Now it's tempting to wanna flip this over and look and make sure that just be careful that you don't let anything slip. Keep it nicely pinched the whole time because you don't want that die to slide in there. And you can see where if I'd had this stamped in here, it would just be really hard to see through. So I have a solution for that. It's still coming. So we're gonna take this and go back to our die cut machine here. And same sandwich as before. Whether you have the die sandwiched in there or not, you're just gonna use the same, the big white number 1 plate and then the number 4 specialty plate. And here's the reveal. When we come back to this, we're gonna open it up and we have this really amazingly beautiful set of embossed flowers. Aren't they pretty? So there's that gorgeous blossom there and then these other 2 small ones, okay? All right, and now, then of course you could take this out if you're using it for something else or leave it in if you're using it for later. Now, what we wanna do is we want to highlight these shadows even more. So they are beautiful the way they are, and you could just leave them, but they come out even prettier when they're highlighted with a little extra, just a little extra boost. And so I'm gonna use my Poppy Parade ink. So I'm doing color on color. The part of the reason I love color on color is it gives you a little bit of shadow. If you're a tiny bit off, it's not gonna be glaring, but you could use like a black or something more intense for this too. And now what I'm gonna do is either stamp this way, if you really are comfortable with stamping and looking through, you can. But what I find works best for most people is to stamp upside down. So how do we stamp upside down, Meg? What are you even talking about? So my inked stamp is down here on the table. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking at the outline of the photopolymer stamp because it matches the outline of my die cut element. So I'm just gonna line this up pretty close. Remember, it's pretty forgiving. And when I get it there, I am not going to press with my fingers, okay? Don't do that. Instead, what I'm gonna do is take another block and I'm going to press down on there, okay? Now why? Why does that matter? Because what happens when we press down, do you see the ink that kind of gathers inside the edges here? There's a pretty big like smudge right in there. So if you press with your fingers, you're gonna dip the cardstock down and touch those elements and get extra ink everywhere. It's not the end of the world, but it just works so much cleaner to just do it with a block. So you can kind of see, do you see how, and this one's like really, really embossed. Do you see how much easier it is to see that right there? So you also are gonna find that you're gonna maintain that great texture. You want the cutting and embossing to happen all at one time so you're not running this through a folder or running it through to cut or anything like that. So you don't want to press out any of your pattern. All right, so let's see, maybe we can do both of these at the same time. I love florals that have irregular pattern shapes so that it's really easy to tell how they go together. I'm gonna press these both at the same time, so I'm gonna use an even bigger block. Do you guys keep your extra blocks handy? Here's the ones that just live right above my workspace. They're handy for me to grab when I need them. All right, and then we have our stamped flowers there too, okay? So just a little bit extra so that we can really see what we're doing here. And then we're gonna use our stamps. We're gonna do a little more stamping. I'm gonna use my Be Merry from Christmas Labels here. This is one of my very favorite Christmas stamps this year. I've been using it a ton. And of course, if you wanted to use this stamp set for not Christmas, you would not use a Christmas greeting set, but we're gonna go ahead and stamp this on this gorgeous die cut tag. Oh, I promised to tell you why this tag set is my very favorite for multiples. So if you look at these dies, when I am doing something that is super repetitive, like I'm trying to cut out 350 labels, say, for a calendar or something like that, just saying, if you know, what I find is that a die that includes lots of little fussy pieces like this is absolutely beautiful. And I use them all the time for things like this fun pumpkin box, right? This would be great for your Thanksgiving table. This is a Maker Mornings with Meg episode from a couple weeks ago, so go back and look for this if you missed how to do this box. But this is absolutely beautiful, has so much pretty detail. A lot of poking to get out. So what's great about these two dies, they don't have anything to poke out. They are only slit cuts, which means that when you go to have this cool thing here, you have lots of great detail, but you have no little chads to poke out, okay? So when you're thinking about like doing lots and lots of a certain project or lots and lots of a certain card, keep in mind some of those things that will make your life easier, okay? So I really love this one. All right, now we're gonna do a little more stamping on here. I have this other hibiscus blossom, and let's see, I need some like scrap paper to put behind here. Oh wait, there's a scrap paper. Okay. Sorry, I need a scrap paper to stick under here because I don't want to stamp on my table. So I'm just going to stamp this pretty hibiscus. And let's see, Betty didn't want to have to write very much on her card. So we're going to go ahead and put a couple of these on here. And then I'm going to come back. We're going to use our granny apple green again. And, oh, paper poop. Yeah, Betty said fussy die cuts make for lots of paper poop. Oh yes, that is the case. So then I'm going to add a couple of leaves on here. Okay, so now we have our leaves at the bottom. Get rid of our scrap. And now we need to add our other greeting. And this one is also from Christmas Labels. This is the Hope Your Season is Filled with Magic greeting, which is such a fun message. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up in Poppy Parade and stamp here. So, all right, Betty, did we fill up enough space for you? From Betty, with love, Betty. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to show you where this piece goes. It's going to go on the back of our pop-up card. So, you know, if you're Christmas card recipients, or remember, if you're doing, you could change the Poppy Parade to Melon Mambo, and this card would be absolutely gorgeous all year long. So we're going to take this, flip it over, and put our greeting on the back. Now, I do find that it makes sense to double check your orientation so you're not gluing your greeting on upside down, which you can do, but kind of nice if our card is standing up this way, the greeting is also. Otherwise, you'd have to do like one of these flippies here to, you know, whatever works, right? All right, yes, whew, I've filled up a good amount of space. Thanks, Betty. So let's look at the front of our card again. I have another strip from the Take a Bow, or Take a Bow, however you want to say it, stamp set here, or designer series paper set here. I'm going to cut two little banner ends. And remember, when you make a card like this, that you can go as wide as 4 1/4 inches. Even though this piece right here is a little bit narrower, you can overlap that and have it still fit in an envelope. So again, make sure that your adhesive is going to be only on the parts that are going to contact the center. Don't put adhesive on this part out here, or you will be gluing your card shut. And then it will just be a triple panel card, but maybe not a triple panel standing card because these little wings won't come out of the sides. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put our pieces on. And I like to vary the height a little bit. So again, I'm putting my adhesive on the, let's move this up just a little, on the card itself rather than on the back of my flower so that I don't accidentally put the adhesive in a place that's gonna stick my card shut, okay? So same here, I'm putting my dimensional on the card instead of on the paper. That way I know that there's not gonna be any adhesive here on the back, okay? All right, then we have our greeting, same trick, adhesive on the card instead of the element. And then we have our last little flower here. And another reason that I absolutely love this hybrid embossing folder and stamp set, you get all 3 flowers at one go. You don't have to do 3 separate times. So it's just a really efficient stamp set. All right, and then I think we're gonna do dimensional, and same here. Might as well put the dimensional on the card. So there we have our extra little element there like that. Be merry. We're not done though, of course. We need to add our bling, and the bling is the Druzy Elements. Here we go. And these come in gold and this champagne, or silver and the champagne color. Actually, I think they're both really pretty on this card. So I'm gonna do silver on this one, and then I'll show you an example that uses the champagne too. All right, so where to put these? Let's talk a little bit here. On our card orientation here, you notice that we've got a really strong focal point, right? We've got our Be Merry, but here, let's pretend I'm gonna put my finger there so you haven't seen it yet. We got a really strong focal point with our Be Merry, but then there's a lot of these flowers going on here, which are also really busy. So when we add our embellishments, I could pop them here and here and here, like at the corners of the cards, but that's not really serving a purpose. Yeah, they're glitzy and they're pretty, but we want our embellishments to serve a purpose, and our purpose is to highlight the focal point of our card. So are these flowers the focal point? No, they're kind of decoration. The Be Merry is our focal point. So what we want to do is we want to draw the eye right here to this Be Merry greeting, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put one right here, and then I'm gonna put the two, because I like things in threes, on the other side right in here. So this is basically like between our fun embellishments, we have our strong gatherer of attention, which are our bright, shiny embellishments there. So do you see how all of a sudden, when we don't have these on here, we have a lot going on, which is really cool, but between the flowers and the greeting, there's a little bit of competition for your eye and your attention. But when we add in those embellishments, all of a sudden, ching, this is the place that our eye goes. I don't know, maybe you don't think so. I'm feeling pretty good about this. So when you're using your bling, think about it, whether it's the little peppermints, which have enjoyed a short return to the online store, or the Druzy Elements or any kind of embellishment. Think about where your bling goes and where what it's doing for you, how it's functioning in your card, okay? All right, so here is this fun card this way. Stands up, has our greeting facing the right direction for our very short message that's right. And then our greeting here on the front with our elements. Let's see, I promised you guys the champagne version also. So here's the same card in the champagne. You can see same thing, that these elements right here, just focus your attention right here on our Be Merry, because that's where our center is. Okay, and then this is just a different paper from that Take a Bow or Take a Bow designer series paper. It's a really great Christmassy paper, and honestly can extend quite a bit beyond Christmas, depending on the greeting you put with it. These greens are beautiful and certainly not limited to just Christmas. There's a red stripe. Let's see, you can see the back here, which you could use really nicely for Valentine's or for things coming up. If you do St. Patrick's or holidays in there, you have those greens and so forth. So this is actually a really great 6x6 paper to have on hand. So lots of tiny little patterns to use. Cindy said, what about one in the center of the back hibiscus? Oh yeah, totally. You could definitely put a Druzy element right in there. I'm gonna leave mine without, I think. But yeah, definitely. What the heck? We'll pop one in there. Let's see. I'm gonna put it on the silver. Where's my element? There you go. So depending on how, that's really pretty. Oh, I like it. Good idea, Cindy. Okay, and depending on, that actually works pretty well. It's gonna give a little bit of imprint on your card because you're folding it on the inside, but not so much that you'd normally notice, because it's definitely not going to like imprint all the way through these layers. So as far as putting an embellishment inside a card, this is a pretty good one to choose for, so. There we go. All right, so what else was I going to tell you about today? I have three other cards to show you. So this card here was inspired by my good friend Mary Ellen Stites, who's a very, very talented stamper. And this is the card that Mary Ellen made for a swap that I did recently when I was in Hawaii for our backstage leadership training events with Stampin' Up. And she used this fun snowman here, and so you can see her inspiration there. And we even picked the same stamp set here, the Hope Your Season is Filled with Magic, for the front. So Warm and Cozy is also from Christmas Labels. This is just a really great Christmas set. It includes things that work for lots of different occasions. Like if you were giving little cocoa packets or little cider packets or something like that, this warm and cozy is like totally ideal here. There's just some really great ones. Okay, so there's Mary Ellen's card, and I love the coloring she did on the, the coloring she did on the parrot there, super cute. And then I have a couple other Happy Hibiscus. So this is from my friend Noreen, and she gave us a set of little gifts, and so she made these quick little tags, and you can see how quick and easy these are to do here with the stamp and then the outline, and then the little leaves and so forth. So really quick and easy little tag. And Noreen actually inspired me to do Christmas. I liked this red and green here and thought, oh, this would be a great Christmas set. And then this one is from my friend Lindsay. And Lindsay, who's my fellow Maker Club director. We have a live Zoom session that we do each month for Maker Club. And you can learn more about that in the video description if you'd like to join us for Maker Club, which actually meets tomorrow this month. So excited about that. And Lindsay actually did the die cutting and so forth here with these, and then used this fun ombre background here with blending brushes and so forth. So really cool. The last thing I wanted to share with you is the chance to sign up for 12 Days of Crafting. And there's a QR code right there. This is your chance to get either for yourself, Merry Christmas to you, or for a crafting friend, a set of 12 days of craft supplies, each day with a little video tutorial showing you how to take advantage, make the most of whatever that element is and that you've gotten in that day. So 12 days of crafting, you could do it for the 12-day lead up to the Christmas holidays or to your seasonal holidays. You could also open them all at once when you first get the package. So I don't know, are you the person with your advent calendar who opens all the chocolate? So if you sign up for this, you are going to get a really fun package in the mail with 12 packages here. With different kinds of things in them. And I promise they are crafting elements that every paper crafter can use, things that you will be very excited to get and to put to use. So each day is in its own little fun package and has a fun tag with it. And if you wanted to, you could even, reuse these tags. We'll have numbers and stuff on them so you know which days to open in order. But you could even reuse your tags for other things during your own holidays. So you get 12 of these, one for each day of the 12 days of crafting, and a line, a pretty string that you can hang them all on. So if you wanted to hang these up around your, on your mantle or as a garland on your tree or something like that, so that you remember that you can go and open one each day, you would have a good time with that. So you have actually only a couple days left to sign up for this. November 21st, by November 21st, you get a bonus of an extra set of embellishments beyond the value of the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. But you can sign up until the 30th. So go ahead and click through. I think you can probably use the QR code in the video, or there's a link in the video description, so you can find that there. But let me know if you have questions, and all the details are on the link too. So, all right, guys. Well, that is our Be Merry Happy Hibiscus card for the day for Christmas. I'm so glad that you like it. Thanks, Margie. Enika, I'm glad you guys like these. And I look forward to sharing more projects with you soon. So happy Tuesday from Maker Mornings with Meg, and I will see you again on Thursday with another card. So happy stamping, guys. Have a great day.